Hello. Today, I want to talk about having art goals. It is incredibly important to have them, or else you may be wandering aimlessly, which there's that's not always bad, but I think it is important that you have a piece of paper, or like a notebook or something. You write some of the goals that you want to have. Starting out, I just wanted to be able to have the ability to draw, and obviously there's always lots of room for improvement, but kind of having goals is incredibly important, I think, for the development of yourself. um, so I do recommend you make a list. So I'm going to write some of my personal goals down that I've been working towards, and the main thing is having drawing confidence. And I have some drawing confidence, but I could clearly see through my own work that I need a lot more practice. And it's just one of those things that's a matter of time. So when I started out, um, when I would do stuff, I wasn't really sure why I was making the mistakes that I did. Say I was doing some type of stroke, and I wanted the stroke to be maybe more clean, or more accurate, or like I couldn't repeat the same type of line before, and I still struggle with that a little bit. But I think the biggest thing that I've learned was being able to spot my mistakes. If you ever watched some of my videos where I draw either insects or arachnids, you'll see that I could sometimes spot my mistakes after I made them, sadly. But I think that that's a large part of the process, and something that I will improve with time, because a big part of drawing is gaining all of that muscle memory. And sadly, to an extent, you can't do it all in a day. And I feel like even when you do a lot of drawing in a given day, there's only so much productivity you can get out of it in a day, and it more has to do with gaining the skills over long periods of time. And no one really likes to hear that. We live in an, well, I mean, considering the current time period that I'm living in, everyone expects things really fast. So it's kind of frustrating to hear, and I understand why. But people like progress fast. They like want to make things as fast as possible, and I totally understand it, because obviously the faster you make something, the more you could spot your mistakes, try to improve upon it, get closer to where you want to. But some things end up taking much longer periods of time, and I'm not trying to say it's going to take you 60, 80 years to do what you're trying to do, but you do have to know that it may take you, say, 4, 8, or maybe even 8 to 10. I mean, you could always do stuff and just understand that you're always going to be improving as you go. But it is important to go into it knowing that. Much like people say Rome wasn't built in a day, there's no way you're going to master drawing skills overnight, unless you do have some previous level of experience. So, drawing confidence, acceptance of your current ability, and always trying to improve yourself in one way or another. So, another goal of mine is, I would say, having something in your mind that you want to draw, whatever it be, say cars or people or animals or objects. And I've gone through a lot of different processes of drawing things, and I think a lot of it was important to understand what I wanted to go, how I wanted to structure myself, how I wanted to structure my education. Because eventually, if you could draw certain things at a level that you're happy enough that you're at that level for those things, perhaps you could look at specializing in drawing something. And when I say that, I mean, like some topic. Personally, the topic that I see myself going further into is bugs, and I guess I could say plants, with more of like a focus on flowers. These seem to be the two things that kind of I keep coming back to time and time again. And, these are probably my would the right word be overarching goals? Yeah, these tend to be like my goals. And the thing is, when it comes to bugs and flowers, there are so many different quirks to each one. So everything does have a learning curve to it. Just because you draw one does not mean you'll be able to draw all. And if you go into it thinking you can, you won't be doing it right. You have to understand that everything has its quirks to it. Like, some things may be similar, and you may notice some similarities between one thing and another, but ultimately, all of them have their quirks to it. And, like, actually, when I talk about flowers, I'm really talking about, not, like, flowers on themselves. Probably not flowering trees. Believe it or not, I could deal with flowers, but when it comes to flowering trees, I really struggle with that. And the reason why I say that is because I have allergies, and it makes looking at them difficult. So it's not that I don't like them. It's just sometimes even what you want to do may depend upon what your life experiences are. Like, some people may really be into drawing cars, perhaps for various reasons. Personally, I never have been too big of a car fan, and probably people who watch my channel are probably not. I mean, I can't say that, but I mean, like, they may just not be into cars so much. I tend to focus more on organic things, and cars can have some organic looking gestural lines when they do preliminary sketches of them, but they're a lot more falling under industrial design. I would say another goal is accepting being uncomfortable. And it's something that, like, I mean, how do you get used to being uncomfortable? That's kind of like a bit of a paradox, because I feel like the whole point of it, you like getting used to being uncomfortable. Like, no one who gets used to sitting on a spike. Like, it's painful. And I guess the better approach is that you understand that everything is going to be a unique thing, and you could use some of your previous knowledge to help draw the thing that you want to do. But it's incredibly important that that you're ever changing. I mean, I'm not saying you have to, but I mean, it is important to challenge yourself, or else you may plateau. So yeah, it's something to definitely think about, and something that I've been thinking about, and that I've been trying to do every single day. So I think a lot of these goals are things that are a matter of time, but sometimes you end up running into goals in which you can't do them yet. The reason why you can't do them yet is because other certain goals kind of have a dependency on you having a certain level of confidence before you can move on. And I'm not saying you can't try it, but I'll talk about a personal goal of mine. I would like to do oil painting one day, but I have a lot to work on, and this kind of works out because I do not have room for, like, an oil painting area where I'm living right now. So I think it's for the best, because thus oil painting being something to kind of well, it doesn't require, but I mean, I feel like I could do it better if I had my drawing skills honed. So this gives me an opportunity to really focus on nothing but my drawing skills before I move on to my future further goals. But yeah, it's important that you know that certain things will have a dependency of previous knowledge. Like, a big thing of mine, I guess I could say 3.5, that I've been doing recently and for a while, is shading. And shading's really weird, because effectively it's kind of like, well, you're just dealing with, like, light or white and various shades of gray, and black too, to a certain extent. I mean, more just a shade of gray. But dealing with that is something that, like, I put off for way too long. And I realize how important it is to learn to shade before you move on to painting. Because I think when it comes to a lot of it, it's about having an understanding and understanding how to use simpler, like, I think the whole idea of the shades of gray is to help summarize what you may want to paint in actual color. I mean, granted, both things have their quirks, and just because I'm good at drawing does not mean I'd be good at oil painting. But it is good to have those future goals, because I think it all helps you craft where you want to be going. Because it is important to be chartering a course for yourself rather than just doing it aimlessly. I mean, as I said before, if you don't know what you want to do, that is no problem. But I think that if you've been doing it for a couple years, you definitely want to look into making a bullet point list of some type of your goals. Now, there are other people who may want to do things like various mixed media and whatnot. I don't think there's any problem with that, but it does add a certain layer of complexity to everything that you do, because there are a lot of skills, and I'm not saying you have to master every skill, but just don't let it overwhelm you, because I feel like it is very easy to get overwhelmed by all of the goals you may have. And I would say try to make it how you want it to be. Maybe that's the best way of putting it. If I had to, these are all of my drawing goals, but I do have some other art goals that I probably should share. This is probably like an extra thing that you may not want, like you probably wouldn't do. Personally, this has to do with my YouTube channel, and I want to have a more stable release schedule. I guess it's more of a personal thing. And as of now, I tend to try to release a video once a week. That's what I've been doing, but I would like to bump that up to twice a week if possible, and then also sprinkle in other extra things that I learn along the way. Personally, I feel like I can do this, but for most people, I recommend you don't. I think a lot of the goals that you may have when you're starting out are already overwhelming enough. And I think personally, I try to really challenge myself, but there are various things that kind of prevent me from doing my stabler release schedule. Sometimes I just come home too exhausted, and I only have the energy to draw. And even with that, I have a short period of time before I end up getting tired and all of that. But yeah, I hope you do write down a list of your art goals. I think it is important for you to keep that over time. And do know that the second you cross something off your list, it doesn't mean you never have to revisit it again. I think it is important to do that. Like, just because I have an understanding of shading, I think it is important for me to do like a shading study every so often. Perhaps if one reaches a professional level, they don't have to do that as much, or perhaps they reach a level in which they're able to maintain what they're doing, and that's where they want to be. Then I would say good, but do know that if you do that, you are never closed off from having art goals. So yeah, I hope this video helps you plot a course for your art goals and write them down. I guess maybe I'm making this video more as a kind of documentation of what I've been going through for my art goals and my plan. And even when I look at oil painting, like, how do since I never have done it, how would I even know? How could that even be a goal when I never have done it before? I guess you could say the reason why I'm saying that is because, who knows, maybe I don't like the feel of it, or maybe I do, and maybe it's the thing that I would end up doing more than actual drawing. I highly doubt, because both are kind of intertwined. But the purpose is, it's not bad to have goals, and it's okay if you understand that some of your goals may change, because that is just life. Life will throw you curveballs, and just try to go with the flow and work as hard as you can. So yeah, thank you very much for listening to me throughout this video. If you have a question, please ask in the comments. If you like the video, please like it. And if you like my channel, please subscribe. Thank you very much for listening. Bye.